welcome. It's great to see y'all. Today's agenda, real quick, we're just going to do a quick intro with the PUG leaders, how to get involved, updates for Fabric and Power BI, quick review of the survey, answer any questions, and then just wrap up with any closing comments. All right, my name is Chris Allman. I am one of the co-leaders here of our PUG group. I am a data analytics manager with GVEC, and we are an electric co-op. And we have with us Ryan, which I jumped down a little bit. And then Ryan, would you mind introducing yourself a little bit, a little background?
Yep. Hello, do you hear me well? Yep. I'm Ryan Yasmin. I have my background in geophysics, and recently I'm a data scientist. So I'm interested also in all kinds of data science, machine learning, AI, generative AI, something like that. So I'm the leader of the Women in Data in San Antonio. So if you are interested in women in data in San Antonio, please follow us in the LinkedIn.
All right, and we also have Antonio, Lawrence, and Jason, who are co-leaders, and unfortunately they weren't able to join us today. Hopefully we'll see them next month. Okay, just a couple ways to stay up to date with our group. We're growing, and we want everyone to be involved in the different channels. We have a Meetup, LinkedIn, and our Microsoft Fabric community, along with our YouTube channel, where after this, I'll go ahead and post the recording of the meeting. And we also have past recordings, or have recordings of past meetings posted on our channel as well. And then we do meet every Wednesday, or I'm sorry, every last Wednesday of the month at 12 o'clock. And our goal for us is, whether you're a team or you're just by yourself, we want to help you out. It's really a collaborative group where we just work on digging into Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, and other technologies, and learning from each other and how to grow and use data efficiently. So this is really the community-led group. And we are looking for future speakers. If you are interested in speaking, or know of someone that is interested in speaking, and they can fill out the volunteer survey. The link is there, which I will throw this PowerPoint slide into the chat after the meeting or after the session, and all the links will be available. So just a quick recap of what we have covered this past year. And these are different topics that were mentioned as a topic of interest, and just Power BI in general, about Power BI, how it works. We covered that. We went through DAX, data visualization and best practices, an introduction to Fabric, and also passing the Fabric data engineering exam. We have covered our dashboard design. We have not covered event streams and real-time analytics yet, but that is on the list upcoming. And then data modeling and transformation, that was covered, and data factory, data flows and pipelines. That has not, actually that has been covered, but not the data factory part, but the data flows has. Case studies or demos, administration and governance. So a lot of the things that everyone had expressed an interest in learning more about, we have covered, or we're going to cover pretty soon. And that's where we have our survey, which we'll talk about the survey results. And we need that list to be updated and to find out what the current interests are. But before we get to that, Power BI updates, we have our monthly updates, and there's just a ton of updates. And there are too many to list, and if I listed the few, it's going to really get into more of the nitty-gritty of describing what those updates are, because they get very detailed. So I just listed the general topics, and then if you want to go deeper into what those specific updates are and get more information on them, the link, if you click on the monthly updates for Power BI, that'll take you to the blog. So for Power BI, a lot of features were added in Copilot and AI, reporting, modeling, and data connectivity. There are also mobile updates and of course, more visualizations and developer APIs. They've been doing a lot of push on the APIs, so that's good to see. Looks like I'm missing the Power BI Fabric, which I will fix that. But there is currently they're running a promotion with the Fabric conference for next year in Atlanta, and it is an early bird pricing where I believe it is $300 off, and then there's an additional $200 off coupon that is available. And I'll fix that. I don't want the slide got hidden, but I'll make sure if you're interested in that, I highly recommend the Fabric conference. This one last year was absolutely just information packed, and it was also a ton of fun. And Microsoft knows how to put on a good conference. So if you get the chance to go, definitely go. Start talking to your bosses, especially with it being budget season, or if you're in budget season. All right, so the San Antonio Fabric and Plus user group Pulse, our community check-in and survey results discussion. I want to switch gears here and change screens. All right, so we have sent out the survey to all of our folks, and we got a number of responses. And so far, I wish we'll just go through the questions one at a time. We got 8 responses overall, so we're still looking for more responses just to get a better feel. But overall, 50 very, very satisfied, 25% satisfied, and 25% neutral. So not too bad, nothing negative. So that's a good sign. All right, and as far as how often have you attended the meetings in the past 12 months? 30% said a few, 38% haven't attended, and then about half, 25%. So our goal is to increase that, especially that none. We want to see that 38% go down and all the other numbers go up with a higher attendance. What is your preferred format for future meetings? Looks like the virtual only is the one that's most wanted. There is a 30% for a mix of in-person and virtual, and then 30% have no preference. But there's definitely a higher demand for the virtual only. So that may be something that we mix in the future where we keep it mainly virtual, and then also have like maybe a quarterly in-person meeting. Maybe we do something like that. We'll have more of those discussions. But for right now, we're going to keep everything as virtual, and then if anything changes, we'll send that out to the community. And then what day or time works best for you? So far, it looks like, based on the results, the 12 to 1 p.m. is working out really well. That definitely has the highest response for best availability, followed by either evenings after 5:30 p.m. or no preference. So looks like we're going to stick with the 12 to 1, and there's until something changes or causes us to change, there's no reason for us to move it. All right, so which topics are most interest in for your future sessions? So you can select up to 5 of them. And going through Power BI fundamentals, we got 10%. The advanced Power BI and Microsoft Fabric were the highest ratings with 17%, followed by Copilot and AI features. So it looks like we're kind of we're shifting more towards some of the more advanced features of the Power BI stack or within Fabric. And there's also a demand for real-world projects, and then also data viz best practices. So that is going to be where we're going to focus on our future sessions. So that's halfway through the surveys. Are there any questions or any comments about what we've covered so far, or any additional feedback, guys?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the topic of architecture comes up frequently in a lot of job postings and in practice, of course. Is there anybody going to be touching on like the data architecture piece?
That has not been brought up too much on, actually not on our end. With that being more advanced, that could definitely be something that we explore. That's absolutely something that's necessary, especially with how everything's changing within the Fabric environment. And we can talk more about that for sure. I'll add that to the list. I'll make a note of that. Was there something in particular with the architecture that you were looking for?
Well, I can give you an example of
Yeah,
where
go for it.
I was sort of involved, well, at least twice, but it just one. It was moved by a federal agency I worked for to construct a more low latency data warehouse using can't remember the name, but it was this data something. It slips my mind, but it was very efficient. It was but the truth of the matter is, it was really quite involved, and I think long-term maintenance would have really been an issue because, for example, a bunch of custom keys had to be designed, and every time data flowed in, they had to be generated, and so on. So yeah, so I've touched these things before, and I see it in a lot of job postings. And I do wonder if there are any better and best practices out there, different technology.
Yeah, absolutely. We can throw a line out and see if there's someone in the community that wants to touch on that topic, or we can get a guest. But I know some of our engineers over that I work with they'll spend hours talking architecture. So we can definitely add that to the list. Fantastic. Anything else, Daniel?
Am I the only one?
Yeah, Alex too. I didn't know if there's anything else after, or if Alex, you've got something, absolutely chime in. All right, let's go on. Number 6. So what type of sessions do you prefer? Hands-on workshops, 56%. So that was the most favorable or highest picked, which would make sense. And then 33% guest speakers from Microsoft MVPs, and then 11% were live demos. So it seems like there is a demand for a shift on the hands-on. So we can definitely accommodate that. And then hearing more from guest speakers, which we absolutely are working on, which I will talk more about that at the end of the meeting as well. Next question, if we were to hold in-person events, what part of San Antonio works best for you? So this is going to the in-person component if we went down that route, maybe if we did quarterly meetings or whatever that looks like. It looks like there's a tie between downtown and then Northwest San Antonio, the medical center in La Cantera, followed by Northeast, and then 11% is other. So maybe downtown and Northwest will be if we were to meet in person, would be the best bet or best location. All right, and then we got a word cloud for how can we improve the user group experience, and it looks like some of the more popular words or more common words were pre-productions, new to Power BI, people, real world, connect with. That's I'm not sure what that one is. Practices and standards. There really wasn't anything that really dominated as far as the word cloud goes. So All right, the next one, are you interested in volunteering? So it sounds like there is an interest in volunteering, which is fantastic. There were a couple folks that said that they may be able to help organize or they'd be able to present, which is great. And I will start reaching out to those folks after this and see if we can get some other topics and speakers to present, or even just help with organization. And then that is it. So the one thing I do want to touch on, we had as I multitask here, not doing too good of a job. Pull up the PowerPoint slide real quick. The presenters. So for our next session in August, we're actually going to have there's my fabric. I don't know why I must have hidden it. Unhide. There we go. For our next session in August, we're going to have a guest speaker, and she's going to present on best practices for user design for our reports. And she was actually presented in the WriteAcad, Power BI, and Fabric Virtual Summit this year. So she's got a really good presentation, and we're looking forward to having her in August. So we're super excited about that. And we'll send out that information shortly after this and get that link and team invite sent out for everybody so you start planning accordingly. All right, well, that covers everything as far as the survey goes. Y'all have any questions, comments that we haven't covered?
It's interesting survey, actually. I'm interested in the subject they've been interested in, mostly about Power BI and more advanced in Fabric. That's the focus of the group. However, we can a little expand in something like model flow or ML flow that will expand the idea of building Vibe and tracking the models. And that's, I think we can add one of the session about this subject if that's interesting for others.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting to see the more of the advanced, intermediate to advanced topics are being brought up, and it's not just the introduction or the beginner Power BI.
Yeah, it's mixing up between the sessions, so it would be interesting. It's just idea of mixing up between the session, not focusing in one direction and all the sessions. So I think like this next week will be more in Power BI. The week after that we'll shoot for a different subject. So we mix between different subjects and directions.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be good to switch it up for sure.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she touched on something, the elephant in the room, AI, and even prior to that, machine learning. The common thread here is data and how it's processed, and also the end product. Are we doing prediction, things like that? And that's what the data scientists are pretty much doing all day. And but that data piece is so vital. The cleanliness of the data, wrangling it, normalizing it, and so on. These are all very much data-centric activities, and I'm sort of right in the middle of that stuff. And so she mentioned ML flow. Wow, I know what that is. and a lot of the tools, AWS, Microsoft, and maybe Databricks and a few others, and then of course a lot of small companies, they're spending a lot of time on this stuff right now, to the point where they're going to automate it. I want to say almost automate it away. So I'm trying to figure out how things are going to go going forward. So there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
it could be a good idea to so just like I'm brainstorming some idea for the following maybe year. Like we can take some sessions for example, the new skills and which skills, which the software or libraries in my Python or another language, what's the skills and what the related library to discuss it. It's not going deep with it, just like for this skills, for this requirement in the company, for example, require this skill and this software and this library to be familiar with. So just like general idea about them, not to go in deep, just ideas about which one is most popular nowadays, which one the company ask about it and their requirement, something like that. To make it, it's not like, for example, it's not about go step by step on each in each software, but to introduction about it and what's the capability of each of them and what's the level you needed to be professional. Is the beginner level is okay, or if you need to be more advanced in it. So something like we can throw some session during the next year about the subjects.
Yeah, Ryan, that's a good point. Getting into the introductions and not getting too deep into the weeds, because there is so much information out there and there's just not enough time to cover it all. But we can at least provide that initial starting point of, hey, here's what you need to know from a high level. Go out and you can do your research. So you can at least guide them of where to go so they don't have to figure out, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin.
Exactly, like, because it might, this library or this software, it's not the target for each of them, but it's good to know about it in case you need it, and you know where you go if you need more details. But this is what you need to manage this this purpose, like this library, this is the goal of it, and that's why they've been applied to. So something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It could be like more discussion session.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, so not necessarily a presentation, but just
Yes,
just like an open discussion of like whatever the topic may be.
Yeah, for example, take some job announcement and pick up what the requirements regarding the skills and the software they're looking for, and discuss it from this point of view.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We've got that written down. We got the open discussion, the AI, data engineering, and architecture component that were brought up.
Yep.
Awesome.
And one the suggestion was making some real project online, or like it could be, yeah, it could be a very good idea to work together and some simple project. So like working session.
Yes, that was something that one question asked. The hands-on, the majority of folks, I think it was 53%, were saying they want more of the hands-on type of presentation instead of a demo.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'd be
The
something
only-
we'll shift towards.
It's always like everybody prefer their work together, but only sometimes it's the software, if you have big data, it takes a long time to run, and you feel like there's a lot of wasting in time in the session, and that's why you go for demo, because it's already, everything will run faster and will run the use of time would be more convenient. But yeah, if we choose simple project with small data, could work better.
Yeah, you're right. That data refresh and you get that downtime while you're waiting.
Yeah. You feel like you're sitting there for a few minutes and everybody is silent, waiting to the run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Anything else?
What can I say? One last thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
As I get older, I'm realizing the importance of the industry side of things. And what do I mean by that? The presence of Microsoft in a given area. Are they building a data center, AWS for that matter, or others? And the sort of the the economics of this stuff, the jobs available, and like the other speaker, I don't know if her name just mentioned, she touched on it. What skills does one need to become proficient at something and maybe get a job or become a professional? And the extent to which these companies have their presence in a given area, I think it's actually very important. For instance, in the government, Microsoft is all over the place, for better, for worse, and some AWS as well. These are sort of institutional, sort of industry-based things. I'm real. My degree's in economics, not IT, so I tend to be biased towards that. So any news I would be interested in, and I don't know if that helps.
Like update on what's going on in the industry lately. That what you mean? Like providing few minutes of update what's going on in Microsoft, what's going on in AI, something like that.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, Ryan. That's actually a very interesting perspective. We can definitely talk about how to work that in because that is something that's important. Daniel, like you said, Microsoft, whether you like them or hate them, they are everywhere and they are a big player. And understanding what their move is or what direction they're going towards has significant impact on a business standpoint. And then
Exactly.
jobs. The way things are going, if you don't have that AI skill set, you're going to get left behind.
Exactly. Yeah, nowadays having AI skills, having generative AI, all these things in the tech domain is priority, and it exists in all the job announcement.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to touch that during, like, in the same way we add a slide for the update for Power BI and update for Fabric. We can add another like not going in details, but if something big happening in that month, mention it and touch on it. That might require us to reduce also, for example, the details and what's going on Fabric or Power BI. So just to make it work in the same time. So tightening up instead of going in details, something like that.
Yes, we can figure out what that looks like with reducing the time on the swapping the Power BI updates for more industrial updates, for sure. That's a good idea.
Yeah, though, like the AI update is a lot. Every day there's an update, so yeah, we have to choose the most update.
Yes, yep, you're right. Well, it looks like we lost Daniel.
Yeah, I think
Hopefully we answered his question, but if not, I'll go ahead and post this this weekend.
He mentioned something in the chat about mentor opportunity.
Yes, Alex had mentioned about the mentoring opportunity. Alex, that is something we have not really explored, but I do know if there are some folks that are willing to help out. If you have any questions or want to reach out to them, of course, I want to help. Ryan, I know you're extremely busy and you've got a crazy time schedule. So I don't know if you're able to help out as well, but there are folks that are available to help. We just haven't actually put a mentoring label on it. So if you want to reach out, feel free to, I think this chat gets closed after the meeting, but I'll send, if you want to send me a message on Meetup, or if you want to send me an email, then we can get the,
It's a good idea to work in the Meetup group too as a mentor opportunities. It's not mentor like naming as a mentor, but it's kind of like discussions with each other regarding giving advice in the job and in the market. It's a good idea to improve the group in that direction.
yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. Are you thinking, where are you thinking, sorry, where are you thinking that would take place? A good spot for that be?
That it might be good to incorporate that with like the quarter, if we think about a quarter month in location meeting, so we can incorporate it, because to have a like mentor relationship, it's best to be face to face to build relationship. So I'm thinking about, it's just an idea, we can work in it and make it work, or keep it in Meetup. Depends. I know like some organization offer like a program like matching people who is in the same industry or similar level of education, or trying to ask about advice.
Yeah.
But if we keep it unofficial and just ask whenever you want, and if somebody has the answer, we'll provide it for you. It's still like it's a good idea, but we need to work in it to make it work.
Yeah. Alex, I threw my email in there. Feel free to reach out to me. And then when leadership, when we all meet, we'll figure out what maybe the next step or the best way to figure out what that thing
Incorporate this
is to get
idea,
folks
yeah.
linked up. Yeah. So that can be something we discuss, Ryan, at our next meeting.
Yes, yeah, and other meeting, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Maybe we
Great
make
question.
some search about how other groups or organizations incorporate mentoring inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, did we get Daniel back? Or is maybe just typing?
Yeah. Danielle is typing. Yeah, we get a lot of good ideas today. The mentoring is a very good idea, actually. Everybody needs a mentor.
Yes. All right. Well, looks like unless there's anything else, that should be everything.
Yep, that's great. So thank you so much, and we're meeting next month.
Yes. Yeah. And we have a presenter. I'll send out her bio, but she is a speaker from Vienna. So she'll be joining us from Vienna and presenting on report best practices and design techniques.
That's a great subject.
Yep. All right. Well, great seeing everyone, and hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.